Hello, I'm Shelley Powell and I'm Cabinet Member for Neighbourhoods and Communities within Knowsley Borough Council. It's my pleasure and I'm absolutely delighted to introduce Knowsley Council's first annual parking report. Knowsley Council issued its first penalty charge notice in July 2015. This report will go in some way to dispelling the myths behind parking enforcement. This film will help you to understand the facts about parking enforcement in our borough, and it will also give you some key facts and figures regarding parking management and the services that we provide. Since we've introduced civil parking enforcement, we've actively engaged our local communities. These consist of residents, local businesses and visitors to the area. In doing so, we've taken on board all of their opinions. We've considered their concerns and we've made changes wherever appropriate.
My name's Keith Moyles, I'm the Contract Manager for Civil Parking Services in Knowsley. We introduced civil parking enforcement in May 2015. We've listened to the local community, we've listened to local councillors, we've listened to schools, and we've made a lot of changes. It's a very big step change in as much as we've gone from zero enforcement with the police to suddenly have 5 civil enforcement officers patrolling all our car parks and anywhere where there's restrictions in place. In terms of civil parking enforcement, I mean, there's certainly a perception that it's all about making money and issuing as many penalty charge notices as possible. That really isn't the case. It's more about road safety, about keeping traffic movement, reducing congestion, reducing parking problems outside schools, for example. You know, dangerous and obstructive parking, to be fair, the police still have the main responsibility for that type of thing, but where there are restrictions in place, such as single yellow lines and double yellow lines, you know, our civil enforcement officers can be deployed to them areas and make sure the safety is improved. We have in excess of 50 schools in the borough, so it's difficult to cover them all, but some of the schools have been very proactive, and they've contacted me as the council's parking manager and said they're keen to promote the road safety message and promote the importance of parking appropriately outside schools.
It became apparent that we were having problems outside when the children were running across the road and a number of them were nearly getting hit by cars. The council came in to have a meeting with myself. We did actually go outside onto the streets to speak to the parents and try to ask them why they were parking there, and then we did a number of activities with the children. And then the children put their ideas of how they think it could be improved. But it led to enforcement being put into place because a number of parents received fines because they weren't parking in the right places, and then we had a one-way system put into place which came through a traffic monitoring system. I think the one-way system has benefited us in a massive way because the parents now know that they can only come into the street one way. They can't just pull up outside of the school, drop the children off. There's certain times, and us as a school, we changed our opening times as well. I do feel that the parking at the back of the school is utilised more. A lot of the parents and the children are listening to us in school, and they're saying to their parents, well, we can use the back or we can park somewhere else and walk. So that the children are putting those messages over to the parents, definitely.
Please stay safe at St. Lawrence's.
I'm Sue. I'm CEO 139 and I cover the Knowsley Borough Council area. That includes Wiston, Prescott, Huyton, Kirkby, Halewood, Cronton. I enjoy the interaction with the public. Well, I am a people person, I do like speaking to people. I enjoy being able to help them because they'll very often come across and ask for details of like where they can park for free, or any free car parks that's around. Are they legal to park in certain positions and things. I do think people's perception is gradually changing simply because now some of the areas we have, but there are residential areas, permit areas, around the hospitals and things like that. You do tend to be helping a lot of people more than I was in the early days, advising them of where they can and can't park and things like that. But I also think there's a bit more respect there for the job that we actually do now. Sort of like from when I first started up to present day, I do think that has changed in people. One of the things that happens an awful lot is when I do a lot of maintenance on the machines. When the machines break down, I tend to be the one that repairs them. And I can guarantee every time I've got a machine door open, and I'll have both doors open with my head inside of the machine, and it's like, is the machine broke? And that's literally daily, that happens daily. But it still makes me chuckle now. It's like, yes, it's broke. Right, quite often, a lot of people don't understand the signs and lines and what they actually mean. For instance, double yellow lines is 24 hours, you don't park on double yellow lines. A single yellow line is a time plate, so it'll have a time frame, either Monday to Friday, within a set time scale, or it'll be a Monday to Saturday. They'll all be different on a single yellow. Double curb markings is a no stopping, no loading, no picking up, no nothing on it. When there's double curb marks, a lot of disabled people are not quite sure what that means, and they will park there with the badges and are quite surprised when they come back to a ticket. Blue badge, don't always display the blue badges. When they're in the disabled bays, they don't display the time clocks when it's got a time limit on it. They don't always have a time limit on it. Some disabled bays they can park there all day, but others they have a time limit. Yeah. The school keep clear markings is you do not stop on them at all. It's the children's safety. At the end of the day, it is important for people to realise that the pavements are for people, for scooters, for prams, for the disabled, in wheelchairs. It's not for parking on. There's a double yellow line at the side of a pavement. We can actually issue to that vehicle as long as the yellow lines are there, because it is dangerous as well, because I see so many people on scooters and in wheelchairs, women with prams that have to go in the road because they can't physically get through with a pram. So yeah, it is important. Hopefully this is going to make a massive difference to the parking on the pavements. It needs to happen. It does. It needs to be safe.
If you receive a penalty charge notice, it's really important that you get in touch with us. You can do this in a number of ways. You can use any of the telephone numbers on the back of the penalty charge notice, one of which is a council number, one takes you through to our notice processing team. You can drop us an email, or you can get in touch with our contact centre at the usual council number, or call into any of our one-stop shops.
On average, the council deals successfully with over 90% of the cases where PCNs are issued in one way or another. They'll successfully deal with it. That means less than 10% of the cases issued with a PCN end up ultimately being issued to enforcement agents. I think that the main message really is that if anyone's got a debt owing to the council, especially for the parking section, contact the council as early as possible. As soon as it becomes to their attention, get in touch and see what you can sort out. And that means that you avoid enforcement action at a later stage.
Yeah, the parking problems were, as you can see on the road here, there was no double yellow lines, there was no rules for parking, if you like, for any of the companies around here, so people just used to park anywhere anywhere they wanted to. You'd have them parked on both sides of the road, parked in the road, parked on the curb, either way. And obviously safe ingress and egress into the workplace, we needed to resolve that. And we tried putting up cones, but people just knocked them down, took them. So we ended up having to contact the council and see what they could do to help resolve the issue. Solve the problem and getting out to work now. You don't have to creep out into the middle of the road. As you can see where the yellow lines go right up, we don't have to creep out. So there's massively reduced the chances of accidents. Used to hear them every night, cars beeping as they were coming down here and people were trying to get out. That's reduced that altogether now. You've got safe egress out of your workplace. Yeah, the double yellow lines have definitely helped 100% with access and egress to the workplace for ourselves and other companies whose drivers drive down this road. It's definitely made a marked improvement on road safety for people coming out and going in.
My name is Tony Brennan. I'm a councillor within Shevington Ward in Knowsley and Kirby, and I'm the portfolio holder for economic development and regeneration, which means that I have a wide range of responsibilities within my portfolio. One of the key areas is also around parking. They're one of the key things that I'm also responsible for. There's been specific incidents where there's been congestion or there's been issues, and it's about working with the community to make sure we can get a positive outcome for the community around traffic and traffic control.